Why does Zoe have 3 hands? The only gun in this poster that appears in-game is Zoe's pistol. I have no clue why Francis, Bill, or Lewis are holding non-in-game weapons. You, like me, are probably assuming that this is the SG-552, which makes things extremely interesting. Prior to the disaster that was the Last Stand update, the SG-552 was a weapon exclusive to the German copy of Left 4 Dead 2. This was due to German censorship laws, which forced Valve to scramble to PG-13 their game overnight. Germany must have really given a good ass whooping, because the censored version of Left 4 Dead 2 is like a cake with no sugar. Valve removed all the blood and gore in the funniest way possible. In the German version of Left 4 Dead 2, whenever a zombie dies, they vanish into thin air. These zombies barely bleed and cannot be dismembered. Shotgun blast to the face and it won't mean nothing. Their skull will still stay intact. Blood splats on the screen when a zombie dies near you has been removed. Fire bullets and explosive rounds completely delete zombies. I'm not talking about they dissolve into nothing. I mean they literally despawn. Why do I feel like that's more brutal than guts and gore being thrown around? I mean, there's no evidence that the zombie existed anymore. There's nothing left. Everything has been eradicated. Yeah, apparently the Germans are fighting phantom zombies in their copy of Left 4 Dead 2. That or you're a schizophrenic going through a serious mental breakdown. In compensation with this downgraded copy of Left 4 Dead 2, Valve added a few extra weapons as a "I'm sorry" for the German players. Wow, it's like putting a band-aid over a bullet wound. Valve just straight up copy and pasted the weapons from Counter-Strike source and then called it a day. Other than the MP4 and the SG-552, everything else is smelly, disgusting, dripping garbage. The common folks will instantly say, something is better than nothing. Yeah, because expired milk is better than no milk, am I right? Now, the reason why I just told you an entire paragraph of useless information is because these weapons were made specifically for a censored German copy of Left 4 Dead 2, not for Left 4 Dead 1. Even though this loading screen art somewhat suggests that the weapons Bill, Lewis, and Francis are holding were at some point intended to be added into Left 4 Dead 1. Maybe this was a reference to Counter-Strike source, since it was released 4 years before Left 4 Dead. Get it? Left 4 Dead? Counter-Strike source was Left 4 Dead 4 years after its release? Damn! I didn't know Valve had such a good sense of humor. Anyways, besides the obvious gameplay balancing on these Counter-Strike source weapons being questionable, the general aesthetic of the CS source weapons noticeably conflict with Left 4 Dead 2's aesthetic. Just put the SG-552 next to, let's say, the AK-47. Look at the differences in animation, textures, and general presentation of the guns. It pales in comparison to most workshop add-ons. Putting them side by side, it literally looks like they belong in different games, which in this case, they are. Now let's check the sin of this weapon. How goofy does that look, huh? There's not even a reticle. What, is Lewis extending his neck forwards when scoping in with the SG? This looks like someone zooming in with their phones, not scoping in. What a disaster of a port. What's even worse is that the snipers in-game do have some sort of a scoping animation. It's not perfect, but it's way better than this, making this SG-552 port even more inconsistent with the general aesthetic of Left 4 Dead 2. Talk about a snowball of awfulness. Really, it's something the Last Stand update should have addressed. Alas, all we got is some of the worst melees in the entire game.
Where you're shooting? Negatory.
I think the only way I could explain these strange inconsistencies is with a theory. These posters could have been concept art reused as Left 4 Dead 1 loading screens, but that's just a theory. Again, what is up with the unofficial weapons? Is Zoe's hair down instead of being up in a ponytail? I guess Zoe makes sure to put her hair up before the loading screen ends. Isn't this to start a crash course? Well, if that is the case, then why did the survivors have tier 2 weapons? Last I checked, you start with tier 1, not 2. Lewis is dual wielding a pistol with an SMG. Imagine if you could do that in the game. How come everyone else is casually posing while Bill is on guard? Now, I'm no expert in helicopters, but I know that these helicopters are completely different. Like damn, the moment you take 5 seconds to look at the helicopter, you realize how different they are. Other than a few clowny nitpicks, this loading screen ain't so bad. Okay, at this point, it seems like Zoe keeps changing actors. Zoe's jacket looks completely different in-game compared to this loading screen. And Why is her hair down? I'm serious. Zoe's hair in game never goes down. Never. It is and always will be in a ponytail. No matter what. I'm not over exaggerating. She can be pummeled by a tank, torn to pieces by a witch, thrown off a bridge, thrown into space, and that hair will stay in a ponytail. Where does this poster take place? In front of the church guy's church? If that's the case, then why are there so many rocks? Are they standing up straight on a pile of mossy rocks? Have you ever tried standing on humid, mossy, slippery rocks? I'm not sure why Lewis is staring at the camera like that. I mean, that's the type of look I'd give my alarm clock. Zoe actually looks like her in-game self. Damn! Would you look at that? She has her hair up finally, jacket is a perfect fit, doesn't look like a raggedy ass clown no more. Francis looks like he hasn't slept in 30 days. Oh my god. They are holding in-game weapons. Oh no. What happened? Zoe literally looked perfect in the last loading screen. Well, maybe there's an actual reason to why Zoe looks different in each loading screen. Left 4 Dead 2's whole end credits and loading screens are supposed to feel like a movie. The entire style of Left 4 Dead 2 is supposed to give off a movie vibe. That's why the end credits and the loading screen posters look the way they look. So, I guess you can totally, with reason, disregard my criticism because you can simply state that the loading screens are movie portrayals of actors that have been replaced throughout each loading screen. Whoa, everything looks accurate. The clothes, the melee weapons. Oh, it makes a grown man cry. Except, isn't this Jimmy Gibbs' car location with gas cans? Why are there so many mannequins? Seriously, the place is littered all over the place with them. Are we playing Silent Hill or Left 4 Dead 2? In the actual game, there are no mannequins in the finale of Dead Center. Wow, talk about false advertising. How many times are we gonna see non-in-game weapons in these loading screen posters? I think Coach is holding a shotgun. Ellis and Nick are either aware of the workshop or are using even more non-in-game weapons. Is that 4 survivors? Yeah, I suppose that you can find Bill at the finale of The Passing, but unlike the poster, Bill is sitting permanently opposed to standing up in the poster. And something is just hilarious about the Left 4 Dead 1 crew posing is literally copy and pasted from another loaded screen, and then they just put black filling. Wow, this is art. It sucks that the real in-game location pales in comparison. Is that an AUG? Almost perfect, man. Almost. We had 4 different loading screen posters that were all on model and accurate to Left 4 Dead 2's character design. And now we're giving that up in the final stretch? Wow, how impressive. For a map that was officially approved by Valve, you'd expect to be a little bit more oomph in the presentation. All we got was an F12 screenshot in game for a loading screen. I can't remember the last time I've seen a loading screen so ugly. Looks like a cartoon fart effect was smeared all over the background. Now this loading screen is a rarity to come across. The only time you should be seeing this is when you load something that Left 4 Dead 2 can't comprehend. When Left 4 Dead 2 is confused with whatever the hell you're trying to load, it shows this. This is my favorite loading screen because I can relate to the faces the survivors are making. Except for me, it's when I use the bathroom. Now, I know many of you are going to comment, this video is just dick pics. Well, maybe I wouldn't have thought about half of those complaints if it wasn't for all the loading screens I've had to sit through. Imagine way back in 2008 where computers were nowhere near as fast and as powerful. You boys and your $200 SSDs. Boredom is theorized to be a good thing because it lets your mind wander around like crazy. Wow, that's an interesting concept. I mean, whenever I try to stay in silence, it's like my brain takes the opportunity to make fun of me. My brain is like, remember that time where you spilled your Coke all over the McDonald's floor? Look, am I saying that you should stay in silence? Hell no. In reality, I don't know. But I do know that boredom is painful, and Pain is a pretty creative guy. In fact, I've got a good idea right now. Bet you didn't know you could do that, huh? If you hit the console key, the pause menu will pop up, allowing you to quit mid-loading screen, something I thought would be impossible in a Valve game. Wanna know something else that's crazy? I thought of this video while I was in the loading screen. And that's not